I'm AussieDevFro, and I think I'm better at Pokemon than I really am. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been playing Pokemon casually for 25 years. However, any challenge run I've ever attempted has ended up in a massive failure. What also doesn't help with this is my love for bug-type Pokemon. Not considered the strongest Pokemon type out there. However, that's why I think it's important to bring these bug Pokemon into the competitive scene. I'm going to bring my bugs, I'm going to bring my Fro, and I'm going to see if we can make some headway in Pokemon Champions. Alrighty guys, welcome back to Zero to He-Fro as we continue to, make a little bit of a start into our Pokemon Champions journey. So let's just see. Look, I've done some training. I've done some training with the team, and I'm going to go through it right now. It's a bit of a different team than what you're used to, or when I say what you're used to, what you saw in the last episode. But for the most part, the team is pretty much the exact same. And we will, and I'll just quickly go through it because I made some optimizations and a few changes. So we will start with the Beedrill. Beedrill, being big on that physical attack. So we essentially I just sort of pumped that up as much as I possibly could. We continued with the same moveset. Well, actually no, it's a completely different moveset. Why would I say it's the same moveset? So it's a different moveset. We have Poison Jab. Keeping with the poison, U-turn as our bug move, drill run for coverage and protect. And I have a really cool idea with the Beedrill, essentially tempting people with the Mega Beedrill to attack into it. So yeah, it's a really, really cool idea. At least I thought it was cool. And I didn't go max speed on its stats because Beedrill's pretty fast. Mega Beedrill's super fast, but a bit of speed investment keeps it in the higher speed tiers. So max attack, a little bit of HP, which definitely comes in handy, let me tell you. But some speed definitely keeps him moving quick. So Beedrill, not really changed, but just a little bit optimized. Now, one of the new additions into the team is this Melodic, and this Melodic is just meant to stall things out for me. And I know there might be some people out there that don't like a stalling Melodic, but I kind of wanted a Melodic, and I've never really used one, and I wanted to be a stalling one, so that's what we're doing. That being said, I've really just buffed its special defense and its special attack. It's still going to be able to hit hard, but it is very tanky. It has protect, it has recover. I want it to last as long as it can. A little bit of teeniest investment in defense, but mostly just special defense and Scold and Alluring Voice as our damage options. The competitive boost does come into play and is super helpful in a few matches. So yeah, this Melodic really stally, but has more special attack than what I think some other Melodics have, so it definitely might catch a few people off guard. Now back to our amazing Vivillon with Quiver Dance. Overall, not too much has changed. Max speed, max special attack. It has the focus sash, so it is going to be able to hang on for at least one turn. It keeps its Friend Guard ability to be able to protect the Beedrill and any other Pokemon that it's out with. But we did change the moveset a little bit. So Energy Ball is our coverage move, being Grass, and Air Slash to replace Hurricane, because let's be honest, nobody likes missing an attack at the critical moment of a battle. So going with Air Slash, which I think is just a little bit weaker, but a little bit more consistent, that's definitely going to help me out more as a noob to this sort of battling. Maybe later on when you're in the Master Ball rank, you can go Hurricane and go for those high-risk plays. But right now, I'm sticking with the low-risk, low-reward. Because I just want, quick and easy rewards, Now, the next new team member is our Hydreigon here. Hydreigon, super cool Pokemon. Never really used it, so I'm really excited to have it on the team. And it is our very focused special attacker. I actually have it with a Choice Scarf, which means that we pick a move, and that's the only move that we can use for the time that it's out. I can bring it back and send it back out and have a different move. But this guy's just designed to come out, hit hard, and that's pretty much it. We have max speed, max special attack, keeps you on a higher speed tier, which is nice. And the Focus Blast, Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, great coverage. Tri-Attack is kind of like a safe bet. I could probably swap that out for something else, but I do use Tri-Attack in a battle coming up in an episode or two. And it's super useful, but also a little sketchy, but you'll see what I mean when it comes into it. But Hydreigon, special attacker, because we need a special attacker. I actually have very few special attackers on this team, so definitely going to be useful. We then have the Ceruledge. Ceruledge is an awesome Pokemon. I used it in my Scarlet Violet run, and he has just got maxed attack. Now, he's not going to be the fastest guy, but his defenses are pretty good. I've given him an even distribution on both his defenses and then maxed his attack out. And he actually survives more hits than you think, but his main goal is to swap into fire-type moves. So if they have like a Charizard out and they're going for like a Flamethrower on my Beedrill, I can swap Ceruledge in, get that Flash Fire boost, and then the Bitter Blade just hits hard and heals. Poltergeist for stab, Psycho Cut as coverage, and Will-O-Wisp I think is just a really nice sort of support move to have in there. If, say you get a physical tackle like Sneasler or something like that. I like Will-O-Wisp. I'm going to keep it on there. Hopefully it doesn't miss too often. And then finally we have our friend Aggron, our Mega Aggron. It's still going to be used as a Mega. He's had a bit of a move set change with Heavy Slam, Stomping Tantrum, Rock Slide, and Ice Punch. And I've given him the ability Heavy Metal, which means Heavy Slam is just going to pack a massive wallop. Essentially, it does more damage the heavier you are, and Heavy Metal makes sure we are the heaviest thing around, bar none. I did buff his special defense, essentially max the special defense, max the HP, pure tank, but that Heavy Slam is still going to hit hard despite our lack of attack investment. We do have a positive attack nature, so we have a lot of attack. And if this guy's Mega'd, it's actually a literal tank. It was a literal tank before. It's an actual like two tanks like fused into one. This thing, it's not going to be stopped. It's so good. But that's pretty much the team. Back at Beedrill there. So we're going to get into a couple battles and going to have a good time. Okay, going into battle number 1. I'm definitely afraid of this team. It looks like a team that has a lot of tricks up its sleeve. Looks like it has Sunny Day, fire types. We've got the Zoroark there, which is very spooky. No pun intended for it being a ghost type. So we're going to have to think a little bit with how the team's going to work out here. I definitely want the Melodic on the team. I'm scared of that Charizard. The Aggron's going to be my Mega because I just don't think with Sunny Day from that Torkoal and the Charizard, I don't think it's a good bug type team. I bring the Hydreigon as a nice sort of just move coverage, and the Ceruledge is going to hopefully soak up those fire attacks. And that's pretty much what I go in with. Okay, so our opponent leads off with the Torkoal and the Manectric, which is expected. Getting that Sunny Day up early is going to be very important for that team. I bring out the Melodic and the Aggron in defense, knowing that the Torkoal was going to come out first, or at least something was going to come out first with that fire coverage. So Melodic, we end up going Scald straight into the Manectric. Now, the reason I picked the Manectric is because I'm worried about Mega Manectric. It's quite powerful. It's actually surprisingly powerful. Now, with Aggron, I choose to not Mega, which is very silly of me. I should have Mega'd. I just go for the Rock Slide. Anyway, Manectric goes Overheat straight into the Aggron. Massive damage, but we are really focused in our special defense, so doesn't do too much to us comparatively to what it could have. Now, the White Herb on the Manectric is not great to see because that will prevent the special attack drop, and the Scald comes through, getting the burn, which is awesome, but not doing too much damage. I mean, look, the chip damage, that'll be pretty useful. Rock Slide comes through from the Aggron, does a bit more damage to the Manectric, and like a little bit of chip to the Torkoal, but mostly it was just to sort of scout it out and see what was going to happen, and the Torkoal finishes the round with a Stealth Rock, which could be a little problematic when we go to swap in a few of our other team members. But leftovers on the Torkoal, the burn hits the Manectric, and we go into round 2. Melodic going for a Scald on the Torkoal this time. I decide, you know what, the Manetric's not going to Mega, so what, I'm not afraid of it. I do decide to finally Mega my Aggron, and I just go for the Rock Slide again. There could be a swap, and I want to make sure if I can catch that Charizard, which I'm assuming the Charizard is going to come in, if I can catch that with a Rock Slide, that's going to be insane. Actually insane. So I'm cheekily looking for that catch there. The Manectric goes for a Thunderbolt onto the Melodic. Again, special defense sponge for the win. It gets the para though, which is a little disappointing to see, but that's okay. We eat up our little Citrus Berry, a little bit of Num-Nums on the battlefield, and we are looking pretty good. Rock Slide comes through, takes down the Manectric, and again, just a little tiny bit of chip on Torkoal, which is what we like. Now, I'm wondering what he's going to bring in here. It's probably going to be the Charizard, but before that, we see the Melodic with the Scald. It almost takes out the Torkoal. Not quite, though, unfortunately. But the Torkoal flinches thanks to the rock slide, so it gets to do nothing. There was probably like an eruption or a lava plume coming through, so I'm glad that we did get that flinch, because that saves us quite a lot later in the battle, having the aggron out for just that little bit longer. Our opponent sends in a Lucario now, which I did not expect. I really thought I was going to see the Charizard there, but maybe not with the aggron out. So with the Melodic here, I do Aminar a little bit, but in the end I just go Scald and Torkoal. If he swaps it, that's fine. I get aggron to do the Stomping Tantrum into the Lucario. It's a safe bet. It's super effective. Even if it Megas, we're going to be pretty good. And the Torkoal uses Protect. So look, hey, we didn't double into the Torkoal. Not sure I would, but I didn't. The Aura Sphere comes out from the Lucario, knocks out our aggron. So this turn, unfortunately, is a bit of an L for me. We do lose the aggron there, and the Melodic doesn't move anyway because it's paralyzed. So we get nothing. We're going to get nothing, and we still got nothing. Now, I decide here who to bring in, and I think, honestly, bringing in the Ceruledge just to try and knock out that Lucario is best bet. It is physically defensive, Lucario being a physical defensive mon, but that Bitterblade can pack a wallop when I need it to. We just go for the Scald again on the Torkoal. I want to get rid of it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. However, for some strange reason, I go Will-O-Wisp on the Lucario, and I'm like, well, hang on. I'm thinking back now, and I'm going, why would I do that? Why not just go for the Bitterblade? And I think maybe I was hedging my bets in case something else came in if they swapped. That's the only thing I must have been thinking. But, you know, it's Will-O-Wisp on a Lucario is still pretty good. Lowering its attack, is effectively neutralizing it, I think is a pretty good bet. So the Lucario starts off the round by going Aura Sphere, which just does not affect the Ceruledge. And then Lucario dodges the Will-O-Wisp. So, bit of a nothing from those two. However, the Melodic does break through the paralysis, hits the Torkoal with a Scald, and that is all she wrote for that poor little Toidle. The Ceruledge got some leftovers on it. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, so we get a little bit more, you know, a little more picnic action on the battlefield there. And here comes the Charizard. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when, but that's okay because Melodic is locked and loaded. Well, I mean, paralyzed, but locked and loaded. So I sort of and ah, like, do I recover? Do I protect? Do I Scald? And in the end, I go for the recover. I feel like the Charizard's just going to protect, to be honest. So I end up just going for the Bitterblade on the Lucario just to, you know what, if they both protect, they both protect. If not, it's all good. So, as correctly predicted, the Charizard is the Mega, comes through. Mega Charizard Y, not X, which is quite important, because we do prefer the Y. Aura Sphere comes through on the Melodic, does a little bit of damage, not much at all. Again, Melodic is a special sponge. The Air Slash hits Ceruledge from the Charizard, and Ceruledge tanks it, only to miss the Bitterblade, which I think, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the end. Like, how do we recover from this? Speaking of recovering, the Melodic gets the recover off. So just like that, Melodic is back in business and ready to rumble. So with the Melodic, I just go straight for the Scald onto the Charizard. We're in a better spot now, so we can definitely go for the smack there. And honestly, just the Bitterblade on that Lucario. We really want that damage. And they go for a Nasty Plot. I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking there. Did they think they could tank the Bitterblade? Like, if I have a max attack Ceruledge, it should take out a Lucario, regardless of what we're looking at. So yeah, it takes it down nice and easy. What I was talking over there was the Charizard missing an Air Slash. I don't know whether it was targeting the Melodic. I think it was targeting the Melodic. But again, the Melodic was back to almost max health. So the Skull comes through, almost knocks out the Charizard, and we just have to mop this one up. So we get the leftovers on the Ceruledge, but at this point, it's pretty much done and dusted. We select Scald for the Melodic. We go for the Psycho Cut on the Ceruledge, and we'll see what they want to do. The Charizard comes through with the Air Slash. That misses. Can we believe that Air Slash missed that many times? And Ceruledge just sort of finishes off with the Psycho Cut. That's going to be game number 1 for this episode, and that's a win. I didn't believe it. I'm pretty sure that was against an actual player. I feel like that was a player. It was an interesting enough team, but I mean, I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong here. But with that, that gets us into rank 3 on Pokeball tier, which honestly, I'm surprised I ranked up at all. You know, I feel like that's a big win. That's a big win for me. Alrighty, going into battle number 2, looking at our opponent's team, it's again a bit of a spooky one. We have the Lucario, we have the Dragonite, we have the Lycanroc, the Manectric, the Gyarados. The Decidueye I'm not super worried about, considering we have Bug, Poison, Psychic on our side. I'm not super worried about that. I do think, you know what, I'm going to lead with my Bugs this time. I didn't get to use them last time, I'm going to use them this time. The Aggron as a backup Mega, just in case, but I think the Aggron will be useful against the Dragonite and the Decidueye. And Ceruledge, great against the Decidueye, great against the Lucario. I feel like this is a nice solid team. We'll go without the Melodic today. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So our opponent sends out the Dragonite and the Gyarados, and that is a killer combo right there. I'm a little scared. I must admit, I'm a little scared. Beedrill and Vivillon. The Intimidate comes through from the Gyarados, lowering Beedrill's attack, but that's okay. Even Mega'd, we're going to have... even Intimidated, that Mega is still going to have a massive amount of power. So, I decide to do my little bait here and run the Protect on Beedrill. Now, I want them to think that we're going to Mega up, and I just want them to hit into that Beedrill. It gives the Vivillon a free turn to use Quiver Dance. Now, if I'm wrong and they go into the Vivillon, that's fine. It's got the Focus Sash, and it should all work out pretty alright. So Beedrill uses the Protect exactly as I wanted. Gyarados going for the Ice Fang straight into the Protect. So we already nailed that. Awesome. Quiver Dance goes off, Vivillon getting that boost to speed, special defense, and special attack. And the Dragonite going for Ice Beam on the Vivillon, unfortunately. So, bit of a neutral turn, but I'll take it. I'll take that. That was a pretty fun turn. Anyway, enough with the shenanigans. We're going to Mega that Beedrill. We're going to send a Poison Jab into that Gyarados. And the Vivillon is going to throw an Energy Ball at the Gyarados. Essentially, I want to try and take out that Gyarados ASAP. Now, with the physical attack drop, thanks to the Intimidate, I'm a little bit worried. So that's why I decided to double into the Gyarados. Energy Ball comes through, does a decent chunk, 40%. And for a neutral move, I'd take that. Poison Jab, however, completely finishes off. Was that overkill? I'm not entirely sure. I don't do any damage calculations or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy with how that went. The Ice Beam comes through from the Dragonite and will take down the Vivillon. I consider trading the Vivillon for a Gyarados. I love my Bugs. I know they're not at the top of the tier list, so that trade, I'm happy to take. We still got the Beedrill though, so we're still alright. Anyway, I bring in the Aggron now. It's a clear play. We have the Rock Slide, the flying typing on the Dragonite does do wonders for us. But I also have the Ice Punch as well, remember. So quite effective. Could be kind of neat. The Manectric comes out for the opponent, and I decide that, you know what, I think I'm going to U-turn out of here, using the Dragonite as the target, and then we're just going to Ice Punch into the Dragonite, just in case it has a Focus Slash. I want to take care of that. Anyway, we U-turn out. So with our attack lowered a little bit, I think it's best to sort of neutralize that. So I get the Beedrill back into our party and send out the Ceruledge. Because I'm assuming also that there might be an overheat coming through. Depends on which one they think is more of the threat, the Aggron or the Ceruledge. And it is the Beedrill. So Manectric uses the overheat into the Beedrill slot that is now a Ceruledge. I get Flash Fire. The Dragonite Ice Beams into Aggron. It does nothing. Aggron comes out with an Ice Punch and almost knocks out the Dragonite. I was so proud of that turn. Soaking up that overheat. What a play. I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. Anyway, we have the Ceruledge out now, so I just assume, you know, we're just gonna go Bitterblade. Just Bitterblade into the Manectric. And honestly, a Rock Slide is a great combo here because the Dragonite's low, so I figured best to just hit it on the, hit it with a different move, just in case he does swap. Snarl comes out for the Manectric, lowers our special attack, but that's okay. We're not using special attack. So, thanks for the health, I suppose. And, yeah, I'll just chill. You gave me a boost to my fire attacks. You gave me some health. The Manectric honestly just helped me. But the Earthquake from the Dragonite is scary, but not scary enough. Aggron with that defense, with that HP, and the Ceruledge now max health from the Bitterblade. Rock Slide comes through, takes out the Dragonite, and this is looking like another easy win. We do have one more Pokemon, and we have not seen a Mega yet, so we're not out of the woods just yet. Our opponent sends out Lucario, and I'm like, oh, okay, well this is gonna be interesting. Bitterblade, I suppose. that's gonna be it. And then I suppose a Stomping Tantrum from the Aggron. It's just two massively effective moves. The Lucario can do everything at once. It goes Vacuum Wave. It actually takes out the Aggron, which I'm like, oh, well, that's a little petty, but okay, I suppose. There is just a Mega Beedrill in the back that has Drill Run, so this is all tied up. There was nothing they could do. We didn't see a Mega from them, which I thought was a bit odd, unless their Mega was the Lucario or the Dragonite. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we wrapped that one really nicely, so I'm super proud of the bugs for that one. Beedrill getting that massive poison jab, and the Cerulege swap, I think, was really key there. So, good job, us. So, going into the third and final match for today, we have, again, a spooky team. My eyes immediately land on that Sneasler. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not a good time. Then there's the Goodra, which I want to note is a Steel Dragon. I thought it was a Poison Dragon. So there's some misplays I have in this match. But aside from that, I'm worried about the Tinkaton, the Gyarados, possibly the Mega Kangaskhan. In fact, I think it is going to be a Mega Kangaskhan. But that the Goodra, that Goodra trips me up quite well. Anyway, we send in the Beedrill and Vivillon to take point. Hydreigon and Cerulege to clean up at the end. The Hydreigon I bring in for Focus Blast. I just want to Focus Blast into that Kangaskhan if needed, if it is a Mega, and I think that should mop that one up quite easily. So our opponent starts with the Goodra and the Tinkaton, so we've got a couple of Steel types that, again, I'm operating under the thinking that Goodra is a Poison Dragon. That's what I'm thinking right now, and I'm so in the wrong. So, I go with my shenanigans again. I do Mega. I don't Mega. I don't Mega. You can tell I'm reading this live, or I'm watching this live. I don't Mega, use Protect, and that will be a little cheeky little play. I sort of and ah a little bit on whether to bring the Vivillon out, but in the end, I just figured a Quiver Dance will do nice for us anyway. They withdraw the Tinkaton, which I wonder why. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it didn't have any moves for us, but the Kangaskhan does come out. Beedrill goes for the Protect, which is a little bit meh now that we don't have the Tinkaton doing anything. Vivillon does the Quiver Dance, so sets up, and it really just depends on what this Goodra is going to do. And I certainly don't expect that it just uses Shelter, so it gets its defenses up, and I get my offenses up. I still don't know it's a Steel type. And that's going to come into play here. So I see the super effective on the Drill Run, and I ignore it. I just promptly ignore it. I decide to go for the U-turn on the Kangaskhan. I want to get the Hydreigon in, and I just end up going for the Bug Buzz on the... Sorry, the Air Slash on the Vivillon. And I'm seeing they're not very effective on the Goodra. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Flying was not very effective on Dragon. That's weird. Anyway, I'll just hit the Kangaskhan, and we'll see what we do. We'll see what we do. I can't believe I missed all the warning signs on the fact that Goodra is a Steel type. Anyway, the Kangaskhan does Mega. Junior jumps out there and wants to join in on the party. And the Beedrill Mega Evolves as well. So we've just got a couple of Megas just hanging out. Only I'm here for a good time, not a long time. As we will be outsped by our own Vivillon. Gets the Air Slash on the Kangaskhan down to 50%, which is pretty good. And then here comes the U-turn, which finishes it off. So that Kangaskhan megaed and got nuked down by a couple of bugs. Can we just appreciate the fact that the bugs are kicking butt right now? Like, my gosh. Anyway, the Hydreigon is my next go-to here because I'm thinking, you know what? Okay, we've got the Goodra. I know it's a dragon at least, so we'll just use a Draco Meteor and take it down. Thunderbolt comes through from the Goodra onto the Vivillon. It's pretty effective. It's pretty good. But I feel like we've got one more move to send out from that Vivillon, and we'll be okay. The opponent sends back out the Tinkaton. I'm like, okay, welcome back. Mold Breaker comes through, so it can hit the Hydreigon with ground-type moves if need be, which could be a little spooky. But yeah, we just go straight for the Draco Meteor, like straight onto the Goodra. We're just taking that thing down. Now, my Vivillon here, it's all not very effective. So I decide just, you know what, let's just use the Air Slash, smack the Goodra, and hope that we're going to deal enough damage. So, Draco Meteor comes through. It does nothing. This Goodra is tanky as nothing else, and I'm now sitting here going, oh no, the Air Slash hits as well. Those were 2 high power attacks. It does nothing. Play Rough comes through from Tinkerton, absolutely destroys the Hydreigon. I totally forgot that Fairy is super effective against Dark and Dragon. You can tell I don't play competitive too often. And the Flamethrower finishes off the Pavilion. So like that, they've completely flipped the script. We've taken out their Mega, but they've taken out 2 of my guys. So this battle could go either way, but I really do believe underestimating that Goodra has really done me no help whatsoever. So there's really nothing I can do here. I've just got to bring in the Beedrill and the Ceruledge. I don't really know if bringing them in on the left or the right matters. I'm not entirely sure there, but let me know in the comments below if there is a reason that it asks you that, unless there's like traps or like arena traps or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, Beedrill and Ceruledge comes out. I'm hoping the Ceruledge is going to be enough to take out that Tinkerton. We're just going to have to drill run straight into that Goodra, but remember, its defenses sharply rose before, so whether it does much, let's see. Bitter Blade from the Ceruledge is going to go into the Tinkerton, of course, which, in hindsight, probably could have gone into the Goodra, if I'm thinking about it now. So our opponent withdraws Tinkerton again, bringing out the Gyarados, sensing that the fire move was coming through, totally expected. No Intimidate though, which is very, very, very good to see. Drill Run comes through, doesn't take down the Goodra. Bitter Blade comes out from the Ceruledge, does almost nothing to that Gyarados. Barely 25%, which is, I mean, it's chip. The Flamethrower from the Goodra, not great on the Beedrill, but we survive. I am very thankful for our HP investment. But it gets the burn, which cuts our attack. So not only is this Goodra defensive as nothing else, it's buffed its defense sharply, but our Beedrill has cut attack. This Drill Run is not going to do a thing, so that's why I used the Protect there. And I decided, okay, Goodra's a poison type. I'm going to use Psycho Cut. Again, for those of you in the back, this Goodra is Steel Dragon, not Poison Dragon. Beedrill uses Protect. And I'm thinking, okay, I should be okay here. No, Gyarados comes through with the Waterfall, knocks out Ceruledge, and I think the writing is on the wall. So Gyarados' attack raises as well. I didn't know Waterfall did that. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I could be misreading something, but Goodra gets its leftovers. It tried to Flamethrower again, but I protected, obviously. There is nothing that's going to work here, but I'm going to play these out. I'm going to learn. And the only way to learn is to suffer the bitter loss of defeat. So the Drill Run comes through, and let's just see how little damage it did. It did nothing. It literally did nothing. It did like 8%. Gyarados uses Bite. That takes me down. But that's the important thing about these losses, right? I learned so much. I learned that Goodra, the Hisuian Goodra, I believe it is a Steel type. So that I'm going to remember that forever now. But honestly, I'm so proud of how I did this episode. 2 matches. We're in Pokeball rank 2, which is huge. I didn't even mention that when we ranked up again, but we're in Pokeball rank 2. We have 2 wins versus 1 loss under our belt, which honestly is a massive win in my books. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I did change the intro a little bit and updated updated the pacing of it and how I spoke through it. So hopefully that was a little bit better for you guys. And as always, I'm learning how to do this new new type of content. So if you've got any more advice, let me know. And yeah, just keep cheering on from the crowd. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all when I see you.